Hello neighbors, it's Brad here at eTrailer, and today I'm with Jess from Kuat. They're here giving us a kind of rundown of their bike racks as well as some of their other accessories that are very exciting. And I personally have a Kuat on my vehicle. I love it. There's a lot of different bike racks in different tiers, and they're all platform. They all kind of do the same thing, but there's different things that might make it a little more specific to each person. So where do we begin?
For sure. So all of our platform hitch racks are going to do the same thing. They're going to get your bike from point A to point B. But how do I know what rack is best for my style, for my type of riding, for my family? And that's really what we can go over today. Starting with our luxury option and our most recently released hitch-mounted bike rack would be the Piston family. What we have here on the back of the Tundra is a Piston Pro X. This is going to be our lighted bike rack. It has integrated running lights, brake lights, and turn signals. So it's going to be compatible with your 4-pin or your 7-pin trailer connection. This guy is going to be also RV rated, so that sets it apart from some of our other hitch racks as well. You can go on the back of your travel trailer, your fifth wheel, just as long as you have a chassis mounted hitch installed. So you can do your e-bikes. So this is e-bike rated up to 67 pounds per bike. We do have an optional accessory available for it as well. So you can roll up that heavy e-bike right off the end of the rack, so you don't have to lift that heavy guy. It's pretty universal. So you can do your road bikes all the way up to your 5-inch fat tires, as well as your kids bikes, your 29-inch wheels, your long wheelbase downhill bikes. So just a really good option for a lot of different types of bikes. It's also add-on friendly. So we have a 1-bike add-on as well as a 2-bike add-on available for it. So if you want to bring all your friends, if you want to bring your whole family, you can do 3 or 4 bikes max on this rack.
Now, all your bike racks, all of them are wheel mounted, which I prefer. You know, it keeps any scratches potentially on the frame from not existing. So why is this one a little bit different?
For sure. So all of our racks have no frame contact whenever you load a bike on it. However, the Piston Pro X, for example, and the entire Piston family have no bike contact at all. So the double arm design really allows us to only contact the tire itself. So it's not going to touch your fork at all. It's not going to touch your frame. It's just, you know, it's only touching rubber. So it's really not going to be able to damage anything at all. And then it'll just ratchet right against the tire. So you have a secure fit. And that's also how we were able to make it a fender rated rack, which does set it apart from other hitch mounted racks on the market. With the double arm design, you're able to have those full fenders and still have a safe way to transport your bike.
So being premium, this one does have features that the other ones do not have.
For sure.
What are those?
For sure. So this is our only rack that's all metal aluminum. There's no plastic on it. So that definitely sets it apart. It gets a little bit of higher price tag for it, but at the end of the day, all of our racks have a lifetime warranty. So really go for the rack that fits your needs the best.
Now, if there's any avid mountain bikers out there, this color may look pretty familiar. You might have seen them on some of the forks on bikes. What is it, and is it just a pretty color?
For sure. So we did an exclusive partnership with Kashima. So all of these piston actuators are Kashima coated. Is it needed? In our opinion, yeah. You know, we're a fun brand. We might be, you know, you might expect us to do something like this if you know our brand. So it's just fun, and they work great. But we do offer another version of this rack that's not Kashima coated. It might save you a couple pennies.
Piston is going to be top tier. You're fully invested. You're going to buy a bike rack that's going to have all the bells and whistles. It'll last you forever. I'm not quite ready to buy maybe something that high end. Where would I go from there? And
that's okay, and you're probably with the majority. The Base 2.0, which is part of our NV family, is a really good option for the majority of people. It's middle of the road price level. It can carry a ton of different types of bikes, and it's still feature packed. So the Base 2.0 is going to be the matte black version of the NV 2.0. Whenever I go over all the features, they're exactly the same as our NV 2.0. The only difference is the color that it comes in, and our NV 2.0 includes that integrated bike work stand where you can hang your bike on, do roadside maintenance, as where the Base that we have here doesn't automatically include that. However, there is an optional work stand that you can add to this rack to just make it the same thing as the NV 2.0. But yeah, whenever we go over the features of this guy, it's going to be the same for the NV as well. So yeah, you walk up to this rack, and this is the rack that you're going to see the most of. This is our best-selling Kuat rack. It can carry up to 60 pounds per bike, so it is going to be compatible with some of those e-bikes out there. It also has that accessory bike ramp where you can roll your bike on it to help with the loading. It has fully integrated cable locks right into the back of the tray, so you can lock each bike to the rack itself, as well as a locking hitch pin, of course, to keep your rack secure too. It can carry up to 5-inch fat tires, your kids' bikes, all the way up to those large 29ers, and up to a 50-inch wheelbase.
So it covers a wide variety there. And
Wide
you mentioned a bike stand or a work stand. So being at a trailhead, a lot of times I had to balance my bike against my car as I'm trying to do little stuff or fix a chain, or I've even swapped suspension, and it's very hard to do. So to get a bike rack with that, to be able to do all that, huge. Anyone that's doing any trailside maintenance ever, if it comes in handy once, I think it's well worth it.
Yeah, spin a wheel, lube a chain right out in the end of your car at the trailhead, and you're ready to go. You don't have to lug anything else with you.
So what other features do we have with this bike rack in particular?
Yeah, so something that I think was really well thought out of with this product that maybe a lot of folks don't know is it actually has really awesome adjustability for any bike contact. So we were able to keep these trays fairly close together and still allow the bikes to have enough room comfortably not to rub on seat posts, handlebars, knocking into each other at all. And how we were able to do that was we actually installed right here in the back of the center beam this Allen wrench. And so you'll always have it available, and you can use this Allen wrench to loosen the single bolt inside of the front tire scoop, and that will allow you to either move one bike up more on one tray or one bike more up down on the other, so you're not going to have any bikes hitting each other. That also allows you to have a little extra long wheelbase option, so it'll move the bike a little bit more up on the tray and allow you to carry those longer 50-inch wheelbases without having any overhang on the rear tire tray.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So if the piston is maybe out of my range right now, I could get this, be completely happy. It's going to do all the same stuff, correct?
Absolutely.
This is for everyone.
This is a great default. This is a great rack to start at whenever you're beginning your rack choosing journey, and a great rack for the majority of folks out there.
Now, out on the road, I'm kind of a nerd. I look for bike racks, and Kuat, being a Missouri brand, we see it all over the place. And the one that always stands out aesthetically is the Sherpa. Color scheme, awesome. You can also get it in white. If you ever see it white on white car, it looks awesome. So tell me about the Sherpa.
Yeah, absolutely. Whenever we decided to design the Sherpa 2.0, we wanted to create a bike rack that folks just wanted to keep on the back of their car. So this rack doesn't take up as much of a footprint than maybe some of our other hitch racks have. It's a little bit smaller, it's a little bit more compact. It also only weighs 32 pounds, so it's really manageable. This rack is going to be easy to take on and off of your vehicle if you don't plan on keeping it on the back of your car because of the material that it's made out of. Now, with it being 90% of aluminum, it's not rated to carry as heavy of bikes as maybe some of our other options. However, it's still rated to carry up to 2 40-pound bikes. So your regular road bikes, your gravel bikes, and maybe your really lightweight e-bikes, it is compatible. You just want to keep that in mind whenever you are choosing the Sherpa 2.0 because it's going to max out a little bit lower specs than some of the other options. However, it is able to carry up to a 3-inch fat tire, up to a 47-inch wheelbase, and then again a 40-pound bike.
So I see this also has integrated cable locks.
So it's going to be a semi-integrated cable lock. The cable lock itself is not stored inside of the rack when not in use. However, it will connect directly to this outermost tray whenever you want to go and lock your bike to it. So semi-integrated, but whenever you're not hauling bikes, just throw that bad boy in your glove compartment and you're good to go.
Now, if someone got this and they want to expand onto it, is that possible?
It's not going to be an expandable rack. The Sherpa 2.0 is only able to carry up to 2 bikes, so it's not going to be a good option for someone that maybe is going to want to carry 3, 4 bikes in the future. We would just say, try a different rack. Mm-hmm. We'll point you to a different option of our family, and we'll get the rack that's best for you.
So now we move to the transfer, and this is one that I've had on my car for past 2 years, and I love it. Now, when I bought my bike, I spent a lot of money, and I really didn't want to spend a ton on a rack. As much as I'd love the piston, it's not feasible. Sure. This seems like it checks a lot of boxes for those people.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned you have the 2-bike version of this rack. Well, on display, we have the 3-bike version. That's because the Transfer family of racks, you can order it as a 1-bike, a 2-bike, or a 3-bike version, and it also has a compatible 1-bike add-on. So you can make your 1-bike a 2-bike, a 2-bike a 3-bike, and your 3-bike a 4-bike. So that means that this rack is a really good option for that entry-level cyclist because of that price point, or it is good for that budget family because you can do 4 bikes bikes on this rack, and it's about half the cost of a 4-bike NV 2.0, which is another rack option of ours.
So another bike rack, this one, we're mounted up to the ibex system. Tell me about this bike rack.
Yeah, sure. So this is our new Piston SR. It's going to look very similar to our Piston family of racks, and that's because it's a part of that family. So this rack is going to be a single bike rooftop bike rack. So it's going to attach to your, your crossbars, your square bars, round bars, aero bars, compatible with pretty universal crossbars. And so this is a really good option for the wheel on as well. So you don't have to use your fork to load it on your roof anymore. It's going to be a wheel on rooftop rack, has integrated security as well, so you can lock your bike directly to the rack. And then, yeah, same thing with the weights and everything. It can do your 5-inch fat tire, your 50-inch long wheelbase, and so it's a really good option for a roof rack.
Okay, so now, since this is potentially a roof mounted, we don't have that here, but there are a few points that make it specifically for that.
Yeah, for sure. So we added a couple features since it is going to be on a roof that is going to be different than if it were on your hitch, which would be these bump stops. So these arms cannot open all of the way to cause any damage, as well as these extra lock points. So you can pop it there, and then you'll activate your button to open the arm up. As well as there's T-channel all the way along the bottom of the rack here. So that's going to allow you to have a really good adjustability for the roof. So you can move it more up on your crossbar so your hatch isn't going to hit it. So that definitely sets it apart from maybe some other options, as well as we have a optional hitch accessory that we'd love to tell you about as well.
So I don't have crossbars on my car. Is this not the best option for me, or do I have options?
You do have options for sure. If you love the Piston SR, but maybe you don't want it on top of your roof, we do have an optional hitch accessory that you can add to the rack to make it a single bike hitch rack as opposed to a single bike roof rack. Whenever you do have the hitch accessory attached, it can only carry one bike, so it's not going to be able to be added onto. But if that's all you're carrying, if it's just you hitting the trails, then what do you have to lose?
So Jess, thank you so much for breaking this all down. Kind of got an idea of where someone would point their direction into different bike racks based on what they want. So thanks for all your information.
Thank you so much for having me, and thanks for listening.